video on this topic. Basically, he sent me a link to an article where a man actually accused a woman of groping him. A woman who's in a powerful position. I believe she's like maybe a senator or a governor, some sort of high state official. So it's kind of like groundbreaking because this is the first time a man is filing a Me Too charge against a woman. And basically, he asked me, "Do you think this is going to be met with the same, you know, craziness that the charges that women make against men are? The women, when they're making charges against men, it's like getting a lot of news headlines and they're really pursuing it." And he asked me, "Do you think they're going to pay as much attention and come down on these women as hard as they are on the men?" And the short answer to that question is no. I don't think they're really going to care. I don't think they're really going to, come after these women that hard, the way they do men. But here's the thing. It's deeper than that, right? Like I said, to answer your question in the short, no, they're not going to pursue it as hard. But it's deeper than that. Because there's a much bigger agenda at hand. So they're not going to pursue it as hard because, the feminist agenda is to... basically to destroy and castrate men and make masculinity a disgusting, toxic, thing to be and thing to have. But what this is going to do is, and it's already doing this, by them not even doing anything about that, you're going to have more and more men walking away like they already are. Even if this didn't happen, more and more men are just getting fed up of dealing with women. They're not going to want to protect women anymore. You can only push men so far before they just say, screw it. It's just not worth it. They're not going to defend you anymore, and I feel like a lot of guys know this, but you make every man the bad guy because of something a few Hollywood men allegedly did. You give all men a bad name, and the men you need, the men you want to protect you, they're not gonna break their backs for you. They're gonna be like, dude, you're too much of a liability. I can't be around you, right? So the only men that still will pursue you at this point are the wolves. The only men that are still going to have the balls, to come after you and to trick you and seduce you are the F-boys, right? The a-holes, right? The wolves, as I call them, So what you're going to have happen is you're going to see more and more women in the next, I'd say, 10 to 20 years. They're going to have nothing but dogs, nothing but players coming after. And it's already happening, but it's going to be on an even grander scale, on an even bigger scale than you've ever seen, because the blue pill men are just going to be like, dude, it's just becoming too ridiculously difficult to deal with these women, right? So you're going to have nothing but the dogs coming after you, pumping and jumping you, because men like that don't commit, right? So you're going to have more and more women on depression medication, more and more women drinking, because you're going to have nothing but players coming at you. And I've had women I've talked to in the last couple months tell me, like, look, good guys don't approach me. Like, decent guys don't approach me. It's only, the F-boys that approach me, and they just approach me for sex. Like, I want a decent guy to come up to me and talk to me and ask me on a real date and make me his woman. And none of them want to do that. And that's because they see you as a liability at this point. It's sad to say, myself included, I start to see women as a liability. I remember one time, maybe a few months ago, I'm driving down the road and I see a girl arguing with her boyfriend. And she's like trying to wave me down. She's like, excuse me, can you help me? Can you get me out of here? Her boyfriend's like this big dude, right? And he looks like he's about to beat her up. And she's like, can I get in your car? And I'm like, I kept driving. I'm like, dude, I don't want any part of that. Like, screw that. I'm not going to risk my life for some random thought, on the side of the road. I'm sorry. Like, call the cops. Like, if you're afraid, call the cops. I'm not here to save you, from whatever you're running from. And you're going to have more and more men just having less sympathy, less compassion. Women are going to get taken advantage of more, and men really aren't going to care, because when men are getting attacked with these Me Too charges, when men are catching false rape charges, and even when men are filing charges against women that they've had something happen to them, as rare as it is, and by the way, women do rape men too. I can testify to that. So when men have gripes and grievances, nobody cares. Nobody pays us attention. When men get raped in prison, nobody cares. No one even bats an eye. So you're going to have men walking away and saying, all right, I'm worthless, so why should I protect anyone? Why should I care? I'm at a point now where, unless it's my mother, I'm not protecting any woman. You know, if I hear that like the girl across the street is getting raped, or my neighbor is getting raped, or my neighbor's boyfriend beat her, I don't care. Beat her up, or my neighbor's boyfriend beat her up, or whatever. I don't care. Like, that's your problem. Deal with it. I'm not gonna risk my neck. I'm not gonna put myself in danger to protect some random woman that I don't care about. You know, especially when I have all these Me Too charges and false rape charges, and I have my own stuff to dodge. You know, I have all these crazy threats that society and these women are throwing at me. I'm not going to risk my life to protect you. So over the years, you're going to see more and more men walk away from women. And here's like a similar situation. It's like the situation where they say, should they ban guns in New York? Or New Yorkers shouldn't be allowed to carry handguns or whatever. It's like if you have a city where the average citizen isn't going to allowed to carry a handgun, all that's going to do is make crime worse, because criminals are going to carry handguns regardless, right? So people are still going to get robbed, and they're not going to have a way to defend themselves. It's the same thing is happening with women right now. The good guys, you know, the gun, I guess, as the metaphor, is walking away. He's like not defending women anymore. They're not, you know, making sure women are being taken care of. Men are just getting more and more sick and tired of even dealing with women, or hiring women, or being around women. They're reclusive. They're you know, retreating to their man caves, right? You know, myself included, pretty much. So you're gonna have nothing but the criminals coming after these women, the wolves, the f boys. You know, you're not gonna have decent, good guys taking you out on dates. You're gonna get pumped and dumped. You're gonna resort to drugs and alcohol out of your depression, because you scared all the good guys away with your Me Too movements and your feminism and your false accusations. You know, you scared them all away. You know, so the wolves and the f boys, they're always gonna pursue you regardless. Just like the criminals are always gonna carry guns, no matter what the laws are. They don't care. They don't play within the law. They don't play within the rules. They don't play by that set of rules. They don't care. They're willing to risk it all. You know, so by these Me Too movements happening, and by people not taking men's problems seriously, you're gonna have nothing but wolves coming after you, who aren't afraid to risk going to jail, who aren't afraid to rape you, who aren't afraid to beat you. They just don't care. They don't have it in their brain. They don't filter out. You know, they don't have morality. You're only gonna have the men with no morals, who don't even think about jail, coming after you and using you. And you're already seeing that now on a mass scale. But it's gonna multiply 2 and 3 and 5-fold in the next, I predict, 5 to 15 years, at the rate we're going with these stupid movements, pushing the few good men away that are even left. You know, it's not like there's even that many decent guys out there anyway. You know, so you're pushing those few men away, and you're gonna have nothing but the wolves coming after you. They're gonna come from behind and stick that knife in your back. You know, that's really what's gonna happen. So I appreciate the Patreon pledge, JJ Boy. I'm going to put a link to your channel in the description. And to answer your question one more time, no, I don't think this situation where the man is making a claim against a woman that he was groped, I don't think it's going to be taken seriously. Just like men who file rape reports against women aren't taken seriously, and just like men who are raped in prison, for the most part, aren't taken seriously. You're going to see more and more men really not caring what happens to women, whether they get beaten or raped or whatever. I mean, even cops, dude, even police officers these days are at risk of catching a charge like, oh, he touched me when he was arresting me, or, you know, there are so many charges filed against police officers from women who just don't want to go to jail. I knew a girl who was actually raped, right? And she told me when she was reported her rape, the police were like, "Are you sure you got raped? We don't really believe you. Like, give us some more proof." Because the cops are sick and tired of false rape accusations. The police officers are even sick and tired of being accused of touching a woman they're taking into custody or whatever, to try to, so she can get herself out of her charges. You know, even cops are sick of being accused of stuff by women. And these are the men who are sent to protect you. So you're going to see over time, you know, over the next 5, 10, 20 years, more and more men are just going to let women get eaten by the wolves, because those are the only men that are still going to have the balls to approach you. And, you know, you already know how that's going to go. So that's really just the moral of the story, guys. You know, the wolves will eat her.